Good morning. Today we are going to see the continuation of the history lesson Vijayanagar and Bamni Kingdom. In the last class we have seen about the Vijayanagar, right? Just we'll recall it now. Actually this Vijayanagar kingdom was divided by some 4 dynastities, right? Sangama, Saluva, Tuluva and Aravidu. And the 2 brothers who belonged to the Sangama dynasty, they were Harihara and Bukka. They were the real ones who founded this Vijayanagar empire with the influence of his teacher and the Saivant Mat Vijayaranya. With this influence only, this Harihara and Bukka founded this Vijayanagar empire. Okay. To honor his teacher, they named this Vijayanagar in the beginning as it was named as what? Vidyanagara. This we have seen already. Then it has become as what? Vijayanagara. And those 2 belong to Sangama dynasty. And there was a conflict between Bamni, Vijayanagar and Gujarat rulers. For what? To the particular region between Krishna, river Krishna and Tungabhadra, and between these 2 places and region from Krishna to Godavari. So there was a conflict between these 3 rulers, right? So these were the 2 persons, Harihara and Bukka, were strengthened and protected this Vijayanagar empire from them. So they belong to which dynasty? Sangama dynasty. This is what we have seen. Next is Saluva dynasty. After Bukka, his son became the ruler, right? After Bukka, the followers were Harihara II, Harihara's son, Devaraya I and Devaraya II. And Devaraya II was the notable one among all the Sangama dynasty because he made the Muslim soldiers to serve under his kingdom, under his control, right? So he was the one who was very important rulers among all the other Sangama rulers, okay? The last Sangama ruler, Vijaya Raya, this Naras Nayak assassinated the Saluva Narasimha and that paved the way for the rise of Tuluva dynasty. And in Tuluva dynasty we have seen Krishna Deva Raya. He was the very notable ruler of this who belonged to this Tuluva dynasty. As soon as he became the ruler, his first task was to bring all the independent chieftains who were near the Tungabhadra region under his control. That was his first task. After completing the task, the next immediate target was Gulbarga, that is Bamni kingdom, right? But at the same time what had happened, the Bamni Sultan was dethroned and he was overthrown and in imprisonment by his minister. So Krishna Deva Raya defeated his minister and he restored the Sultan Muhammad Shah as the Sultan of Bamni and he made him to be the ruler of Bamni kingdom. Okay, next he concentrated on Padaliputra. So he captured many territories by defeating the ruler. Finally, the ruler of Padaliputra, that is the line, Gajapati ruler's line of Odisha, he negotiated with what? Peace, and he offered his daughter to marry off him, right? So by accepting that, he returned all the territory whatever Krishna Deva Raya captured, right? And with the support of Portuguese gunners, he captured many places from Sultan of Golconda and rulers of Bijapur. Next, this Krishna Deva Raya was a great builder because he constructed many temples like Krishna Swami, Hazara Ramaswamy and Vitala Swami. And he also concentrated on what? Irrigation. That is why he has constructed many tanks and reservoirs for harvesting rainwater. Next, The wealth as what he captured, whatever the wealth he captured from the war, he offered, he donated to the construction of temple gobras. That is why the gobras which were constructed with his wealth was called as what? Raya Gobram. To honor of him, they call that Gobra, Raja Gobra, as what? Raya Gobram. Next, he recruited many army forces and he imported horses from Arabs and Iran. And those horses came towards his kingdom through West Coast. On the western side, it all came. And he had a friendly relationship with Arabs and Portuguese, which helped him to increase his income, right? Next, he was a great patron of art, architecture and literature. That is why in his court, it was adorned with the great scholars. Altogether, we used to call them as what? Ashtadhikajas. 8 great scholars was adorned in his court. And among those scholars, literatures, who were the notable ones? Alasani Bedena and Tenali Ramakrishna. These were the notable one among those 8 nobles, right? Greatest scholars who were called as what? Ashtadhikajas. Next, after his period, he was followed by Achyuta Deva Raya and Venkata I. And after Venkata I, Sadasiva Raya, a minor, became the ruler. Right. Since he was a minor, he was appointed with what? Regent. And who was his regent? Ramaraya. Even after this Sadasiva Raya attained the age to become the ruler, he was not allowed to rule because this Ramaraya didn't allow him to rule, and he was the one who was ruling. And meantime, what had happened? The Muslim kingdom and the enemies, right? They were attacked in a place called Talikota. In that place, Vijayanagara Empire was defeated, and in the battlefield itself, this Ramaraya was killed. So, in the battlefield itself, Ramaraya was killed, and his brother Tirumala Deva Raya, he tried to escape along with Sadasiva Raya, right? And they have started moving. They escaped and moved to Chandragiri. There, his brother, Ramaraya's brother, Tirumala Deva Raya, he founded this Aravida dynasty. And this Aravida dynasty built with the capital of Penugonda. Right? Having Penugonda, they constructed this they founded this new dynasty. And slowly what had happened? Internal conflicts. Right? There was no unity among the chieftains. Right? At the same time, there was an attack from the sultans of Bijapur and Golconda. This is how this Vijayanagara Empire came to an end. And we have seen the administration, structure of governance, economic condition of Vijayanagara Empire, agriculture, cottage industry, trade, literature, and their contribution towards architecture we have seen. Now, we are going to see about the second kingdom, that is the Bahmani kingdom. This is what we are going to see today. How the foundation and the consolidation of Bahmani kingdom and the rulers who are very important, right? This is what we are going to see in today's class. This Bahmani kingdom was founded by Alauddin Hasan, who is also called as what? Hasan Gangu. Right, he was the one who founded this Bahmani kingdom by capturing, when he captured Daulatabad, he titled himself as what? Bahman Shah. In 1347, he named himself as what? Bahman Shah. So his full name was Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah, and he was ruling from 1347 to 1358. Okay, this Alauddin Hasan, and he was supported by the territories which were under his control, right? They were supporting the military leaders and the small chieftains, always supporting Alauddin Hasan. To fight against of whom? To fight against of the Sultan of Delhi, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next, for the meantime, they had the capital as Gulbarga, right? Nearly some 2 years, they had Gulbarga as their capital. More potential rulers had the same capital, but the weakest one struggled to have the capital in Gulbarga. So they shifted the capital from Gulbarga to Bidar in 1429. And this Bahmani kingdom was ruled by 18 monarchs. Now we will see about this founder of Bahmani kingdom, that is Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah, and he ruled nearly some 11 years. And the way how he started collecting the annual tribute from the state of Warangal and the ready kingdoms like Rajamundry and Kondavidu, this made, the way how he started collecting the annual tribute, made the small chieftains and the ruler of Warangal to fight against of him, right? So the conflict started over there. And he has divided his kingdom into 4, his empire into 4 provinces, which are called as what? Taraf. Each provinces are called as what? Taraf. And that Taraf is given, the Taraf is appointed with an governor. So the governor is the head person for each provinces, right? What is his duty? His duty was collecting the revenue and to take care of the administrative reforms. So these two were the work of the governor, right? Governor was the head person of each provinces. Next we will see about Muhammad Shah I. Muhammad Shah, he was the one who laid the strong foundation for this Bahmani kingdom. And he waged 2 wars, right? The first war he waged against of Vijayanagar, but he couldn't succeeded in that. Then he waged war against Warangal, and in this Warangal war, he captured many property, right? Many wealth he captured. Along with that, which is included with the fortress of Golconda and a treasured turquoise throne. What is turquoise throne? Which is very costliest, richest throne, which has become slowly which has become as the throne of all the sultans. Because in that throne, which was fixed with the costliest precious stone, semi-precious stone, which will be in sky blue color. Next, the system which was followed by him, which was founded by him, that was continued after even his period, that was continued. And even how long they were continued? Even a system of government was continued after the disintegration of this kingdom into 5 sultanates, right? Even this kingdom, it is integrated into 5 sultanates, the same system followed by the sultans. And he built 2 mosques at Gulbarga, and which was attracted the Arabs, Turks and Persians. Then this Muhammad Shah was followed by Mujahid, the follower of Muhammad Shah I. First one was Mujahid, and he was assassinated, killed when he was returning back to Golconda, right? From Vijayanagar, he was returning back to his Golconda, his own place. He was assassinated by his own nephew. After killed him, his nephew became the ruler, that is Daud. And he titled himself as what? Muhammad II. Right. And he was the one who made the conspiracy against of Mujahid. He was the one who sent a person to kill Mujahid. After killing him, he has become the ruler. He has become the Sultan of Bamni kingdom. And he titled himself as what? Muhammad II. And in this period, peace was maintained. And most probably, he used to spend his time in the court itself. For what? To discuss, to make his kingdom as a center of culture and learning. At the same time, a constant war was continued. Between whom and whom? Vijayanagar and the Bamni kingdom. For what? For the fertile land which is between the river Tungabhadra and the Krishna from the beginning, right? So still it was continued among themselves. At the same time, what had happened? From the north side, a thread was sent to them. What thread? A thread. The Malwa rulers and the Gujarat rulers were also started entering into their places. Next, we'll see. We'll see about Muhammad Qawan. Before we see Muhammad Qawan, we must know who is this. He was not the follower of the rulers, or he was not the follower of Muhammad Shah I. The successors of Muhammad Shah I were Mujahid and Daud, which means Muhammad II. He was actually, this Muhammad Shah II was ruling nearly some 19 years. In this period, this Muhammad Qawan was the greatest and very important place is given to him. Why? Because he was the lieutenant of the kingdom of Muhammad Qawan. The most notable personality of this time was whom? Muhammad Qawan. Actually, he was a Persian by birth. By birth itself, he was a Persian. And he was well versed in Islamic theory, Persian and mathematics. He was a great scholar, good poet and a prose writer. So this was attracted by Alauddin Hasan Bamni. Who was Alauddin Hasan Bamni Shah? He was the founder of Bamni kingdom. So his talent attracted him, and he was the one who recruited this Muhammad Qawan. Even he was given the minister post by Muhammad III. After he recruited, he got the promotion, like the higher post, that is as what? He has become as the minister. And as soon as he has become the minister, he was very good. He was the one who paved a strong foundation for this Bamni kingdom. And he was known for his military campaigns because he was the one who taught them, the Bamni soldiers, to prepare the gunpowder and how to use that. That was taught by him only. And with the support of that gunpowder, they waged a war against the Vijayanagar kings, that too especially in Belgaum. In Belgaum war, they used this gunpowder by defeating the rulers, which was taught by whom? Muhammad Qawan. Actually, he was the Persian chemist. He was the one who taught the secret of making this gunpowder and how to utilize that. That were taught by him. Qawan. This Qawan divided this, already his kingdom was divided into 4 provinces, right? So that provinces, again he made some changes. That 4 provinces was divided into 8. So that each provinces were allotted with a governor. Why it has been divided into more numbers? Because that will be concentrated by the governor. So importance was given, right? For each provinces, importance was given. He also brought some district to the direct control of the sultans. And the royal officers who were given with the land, they are asked to submit the income and expenditures to the sultan. So they all started against of planning, they all started plan against of this Kawan, because all freedom of theirs were recaptured by Kawan. Most probably, more than the ruler, he was the one who concentrated for the development of Bahmani kingdom. So he obviously raised his number of enemies. The persons who were called as what? Decanis. They are started fighting against of, planning against of Kawan. So there was a conflict broke out against of Kawan. The Kawan, they made this Kawan as a victim. They wrote a letter to the Sultan that he is working against of the kingdom, Bahmani kingdom. But the Sultan knows, very clearly he knows, right, about Kawan, because he was the one who recruited him and who made him as the minister. But there's no other way, he ordered for his execution. So after the death of Muhammad Kawan, the Bahmani kingdom slowly came down, because it promoted several of the foreign nobles who were, after his death, the foreign nobles who were in the Bahmani kingdom have started returning back to their native place, because because they didn't like to continue in Bahmani kingdom after the murder of, or after the execution of Muhammad Kawan. So after Sultan Muhammad III's death, Muhammad, or who is called also as what? Sahib-ut-Muhammad, he started ruling this Bahmani kingdom, and he was ruling for so many years, right? So if a particular ruler is ruling for so many years, obviously he will not be liked by all the small chieftains, right? So they were started getting there and declared their independence by themselves. And after him, the successors were so weak, they are not much potential, right? So this made the decline of this Bahmani kingdom. Now, almost we have come to the end of the lesson. Now we will see about the contribution of Bahmani sultans, architecture work, how they are talented in art, architecture and literature. That we will see. The contribution of Bahmani kingdom towards the architecture is an evident one. We know that they are very talented in the architectural evidences which we got it from Gulbarga. The archaeological evidences what we have, the excavation, right, which was unearthed, where the palaces, halls of public audience, ambassadors' residences, arts, domes, walls and citadels. These are the things they found. The archaeological people have found in the site of the kingdom. And the education. The founder of this Bahmani kingdom, Alauddin Hasan Gangu Bahmani, right? He was the one who was, with the influence of the minister, one of his minister, he was educated. After his period, after he became the ruler, he started constructing many schools to give education for his son. When his son became the ruler, and he too concentrated and constructed many schools and colleges in the motive of what? To give education in the offices, right? In the minister's son. So he not only focused only his own hereditary, at the same time he focused for the minister's child. He focused all the children supposed to get the education. That is why he constructed many schools and colleges. And Sultan Firoz, who was the 8th Bahmani king, was a linguist and a poet. Later his successors were also constructed many schools in Gulbarga, right? And the schools which they founded not only in Gulbarga, Bida, Dauladabad and Kandahar. Those schools had boardings and lodging, and that expenses was taken by whom? By the Sultan. Muhammad Tawan's world famous madrasa in Bida, which has a big library and 3,000 manuscripts. It tells that how talented they are and how encourager they are. They were the very good encouragers in art, architecture and literature. With this lesson gets over. I hope you would have understood the two different kingdoms as what we have seen, Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. With this, we come to the end of the class. We'll see in the next class. Thank you.